Damn, it feels good to be a gangster.
Radiation is frightening. At least certain types of it are. I mean, my Geiger counter doesn't go off near my mobile phone or the Wi-Fi router or my microwave. That's because a Geiger counter only measures ionizing radiation. That is, radiation with enough energy to rip electrons off atoms. And it's measured in units called sieverts. If you're exposed to more than 2 sieverts all at once, you'll probably die shortly after that.
In physics, radiation is defined as the emission or transmission of energy in the form of waves or particles through space or a material medium. As Derek from the popular YouTube channel Veritasium said, ionizing radiation is very dangerous, and in extreme cases, even deadly.
Radiation can also be used in positive ways, such as medical treatments and nuclear power. In the medical field, radiation is used in radiation therapy, which pinpoints and kills cancerous cells with high levels of concentrated radiation.
Another form of radiation-based medical treatment comes in the form of a CAT scan. A CAT, or a computed tomography scan, uses X-ray equipment to detect tumors as well as any other life-threatening internal injuries. So let's go back to figure out how radiation works exactly.
What is radiation? Radiation is essentially parts of atoms that are given off, or energy that's given off by radioactive atoms. And so we measure that using a Geiger counter. This is a Geiger counter right here. And Geiger counter, inside this wand, you have some inert gases that every time they get hit by a piece of radiation, they give off a little bit of electrical charge, which you can pick up in here. And so a regular Geiger counter, when you turn it on, you're going to hear a little bit of static. And the reason why is that there's always background radiation everywhere. But if we put something radioactive in front of it, so let's say we put a big chunk of uranium-238 here, it's going to give off a huge amount of radiation, and you're going to be able to pick that up.
Now with all these amazing applications for radiation, when do we lose control of it?
On April 26, 1986, the world's worst nuclear accident occurred at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in Ukraine. The explosion spread radiation throughout the area, releasing 400 times more than the atomic bombing of Hiroshima. In the months and years following the accident, hundreds of thousands of people were evacuated from their homes, some unable to ever return. So what happened at Chernobyl, and how bad is it now?
In April of 1986, the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in the Ukraine, former USSR, experienced the worst nuclear disaster in history. The workers of reactor number 4 were running a systems test to observe the reactor's ability to function under low power levels.
During the test, there was a systems malfunction which caused power levels to spike to critical levels, causing a buildup of steam in the reactor, subsequently blowing off the roof of the reactor, releasing radiation at a rate of 5.4 roentgens per second.
It takes 500 roentgens over the span of 5 hours to kill a man. The nearby town of Pripyat, which housed the workers of the reactor, received the worst exposure.
Residents of the town were evacuated and never returned.
Today, the reactor is still incredibly contaminated, as well as Pripyat and the surrounding area. The effects of the radiation can be observed today by simply looking at the trees surrounding the plant, as most of them have turned red due to the contamination. Radiation isn't just limited to nuclear radiation. Other types of radiation include thermal radiation.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Unlike ionizing radiation, which releases energy with enough power to rip the electrons off of atoms, thermal radiation simply releases energy in the form of heat. For the next part of this video, we will be doing live experiments with thermal radiation. Alright, so we're going to be burning these paper scraps and observing the heat waves coming off of it. Good.
If you look closely, you can see items beyond the flame get distorted.
This effect is caused by the fluctuating temperatures of the air above the flame, which bend light, creating visible heat waves. And that's everything you need to know about the various types of radiation and how it works.
Thanks for watching.